Why is this one labeled in French? Cerebral cortex, occipital lobe, thermal PET scan, alpha helix, transcription of genetic code. Yeah, that's all words. Pituitary, cerebellum, ionized tissue groups. Rhythm bioneural. Well, they've been like arranged reverse-wise, and then also stimulus psionique up there. Jimmy, what have you done?
Rainer here. Right on.
Steve Being.
Yes, Executor?
Previously, beginnings of Mind Campaign.
This is Jimmy. How may I help? This is Jimmy.
Ire is falling. Ire is fine.
I hear you. Anytime you're ready. Oh yeah. Sounds fun. Right on. Oh yeah.
The purging is complete.
We were taken away from defending the homeworld from the meat invasion already in progress. To hunt down the fiendish criminal.
Oh yeah.
For the heinous act of permitting Jimmy.
Right on.
And something about heresy.
This should be good. Yes, Executor?
Also, in order to make the man himself here non-awful, he's a Templar, but has a regular attack.
Shall be done. This is Jimmy.
That way he's functional instead of garbage. He can do things on his own. A little bit.
Destroy. Power overwhelming. Power overwhelming. We burn. We need focus. We burn. It all looks so different on this side. Break on through. It's beautiful. They should have sent a poet. Power overwhelming.
There we go. Exhaust some dialogue real quick. You know, for completion. Since the objective is just to football my way back over to the beacon, through however much meat respawned after the opening phase. Did they give me transports yet? Not yet. We'll be taking a walk.
Yes, Executor?
Get a bunch of these lads put together.
You have not enough minerals.
Phase of the mission where you bootstrap your economy into existence. Except this time displaced, like many minutes in, because you spent a while just piloting a squad through this area.
You have not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
Fair question. Is crystal meat? Are they the same? Is crystal the pure form of meat? Which, you know, at this point of the campaign, we've, like, bumped into more of the lore words and phrases and backstories, precursing what have you. It's two brothers. Two uplifted brothers in space. Each possessing half of perfection, and perhaps they merge to become the ultimate life form? Maybe. So for whatever reason, the psychics, the spiritualists, you know, the folks who can, like, just kind of slam into each other and become fearsome energy clouds of raw hatred. That's purity of form, whereas the meat is purity of essence. The essence is made out of meat. Just kind of like, hold on a minute. Did you say that right? Did you mean the other way around? Did you just say meat? The more spiritual faction is pure of substance, and the more substantial faction is pure of spirit? Meat machines?
Go ahead, Commander. Sounds fun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The more substantial faction, the meat faction,
This is Jimmy.
is pure essence.
Rainer here.
Meat essence.
This is Jimmy. Anytime you're ready.
That's Jimmy.
Hey, quit it. What's your problem, man? Look, Commander, do you mind?
Humans who possess purity of Jim. Get out of here. Ah, queens. Queens are here now. Very swampish day. Yeah, and also while we're just vaguely adjacent to the subject of lore, all that stuff about precursors and ancients and uplifts and morphing of essence and so forth. Back here in the first game, that's almost pure backstory. It's just where things came from. It is the setup for Meat wants to go find its brother and eat its brother. And that's about the extent of it. And also, as of the story in the state that it was in these said precursors are entirely dead. Annihilated by me. There's, at the very trailing end of the expansion,
Upgrade complete.
maybe one dude who, is he one of them? Maybe? And that's your, like, vague teaser
Of course.
for the sequel. Or any further thinking about the story of just, oh boy, what if? Are the olds really dead? What if they're back?
Your thoughts. Steep thy bidding.
What if they were meat?
Upgrade complete. The purging is complete.
And of course, alongside all that lore, you have the humans who are just there,
You think as I do.
not involved in any of this ancient space prophecy nonsense. Just happened to trip over it. Just jimmied right into the middle of the situation. It's an important bit of what kinda holds this story together as a goofy excuse plot for a fight-em-up. It's that you have the comic relief right there. You have an entire faction of comic relief. As your armies of buff Roswell Greys and horrible meat monsters slam into each other to decide the fate of the universe. Just meanwhile, there's Jimmy. Now, is this enough Archon? Of course, also, this is a heavy ground unit. It has a ranged but very close range attack that does splash damage. Its health is also mostly shield, and not a lot health. This can matter for several mechanical interactions. Where, like, on that note, I should have some batteries laying around, just in case I ever bring these guys back from a raid and need to recharge them. Yeah, mostly that these... Yeah, since these streams skipped over Terran, I didn't poke at any Terran moves on camera, but... There's an EMP attack that disables shields and energy for spells. A mana burn, and that absolutely chumps Archons. That is how you jimmy your way through one of these Dr. Manhattans here. You mana burn them. Ahead. Right, there's another ramp over there. Go fortify that. So got all these minerals laying around. May as well. And yeah, there is an enemy base somewhere over here-ish. I don't have to engage them to finish the map, though. Just need to carve a path back to the beacon. Which is... it's potentially a very simple task. Yeah, just back through here. That's my path of least resistance. Just need to see if there's anything in it.
You have not enough minerals. Power overwhelming. Focus.
How may I help?
Okay, I do also have to bring Jimmy.
This is Jimmy.
We can't leave this Jimmy aside.
I hear you.
Tassadar has become attached to this Jimmy. This is Jimmy he found on the road.
Yes, Executor?
Anytime you're ready. Go ahead, Commander.
Why is Jimmy outrunning Tassadar?
Sounds fun.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Jimmy, stop it. Hmm.
We need focus.
Been gunked.
You've not enough minerals. Power overwhelming. Obliterate. Focus. Destroy.
That would be another load-bearing counter to these lads. If you slow them down, ruin their ability to close distance and enter a fight.
Anytime you're ready.
My life for hire, I call. My life for hire. My life for hire. Go, Kola.
Yeah, unless there's a lot of fortification between us, we should be good to go.
We are under attack. Complete. Obliterate.
Rainer here.
My life for hire.
I hear you. How may I help?
My life for hire.
How may I help? Speak quickly, Executor. I don't have time for games. I was Executor long before you. So do not try my patience. Your will?
My life for hire.
Yes, Executor?
Rude.
Isatsu. Upgrade complete. Isatsu. Honor guide me. Thus I serve. My life for hire. We are under attack calls. Thus I serve. Power overwhelming.
Alright, good that we're leaving.
Isatsu. Go, Kola. Thus I serve. Your warriors have engaged the enemy. You require the investment gas. Your warriors have engaged the enemy. House. Isatsu.
It's a fair number of lads. There's some meat here.
This is Jimmy.
I think that's just enough power though. Yeah, we're getting through. And like one Archon left to attack these. Many distractions. Yeah, we're good.
You have my thanks, Executor. Now let us find Zeratul and speed our way home.
So we were out here to arrest him for crimes. We are now instead joining in his crimes. Because wouldn't you know it, the guy whose job was to lead the meat hunting fleet is our foremost expert on how to destroy meat. If we want victory over meat, maybe we listen to the meat minister, General Meat Slayer.
Executor, by following Tassadar and attempting to rescue the Dark Templar, you have openly defied the will of the Conclave. Abandon this mad scheme now, and the Conclave may show you mercy.
Don't let him control you, Executor. The Judicator have long since steered the actions of the Templar to their own ends. It's time we acted of our own accord.
Ah, Tassadar, have you fallen so far? To think that you were our brightest hope, our most beloved son. Now you are everything that we are not.
Yeah, they got a you know 3-estate system going on,
But you have damned
a tripartite caste system.
Such is the price for our race's salvation, Judicator. I have been here with the Dark Templar.
You got your fightmen and your thinkmen and your buildmen.
I learned many of their secrets from
Said buildmen like do not appear at all in the classic campaign. There are no buildmen characters.
Templar also course through the Overmind and its cerebrates.
They're just over there, in the back, working. They're busy. They don't have time to argue.
was useless.
Don't ask about the buildmen. They're not here.
Incarnated before our eyes.
Unfortunately, yes. Your attack on the Cerebrate failed because the energies that you wield are useless when used directly against the Overmind and its Cerebrates. Only the Dark Templar's power can truly harm the Zerg.
The power of an entire year of meat.
Rescue Zeratul and return him to Ire.
You were warned, Executor. The Conclave will not be pleased.
That's a little engine thing that they do. In pretty much every campaign mission, they'll give you a copy of the heroes that you're going to use that are set to a different faction and then loaned to you, so that they stay a different color from the rest of your units.
Your will?
I long for combat. For Hadun.
And so you'll just, like, in the first moments of the mission, hear that ding to let you know that you've received a hero. Because strictly speaking, he's just here as a faction of one, on his own. Also, Jimmy is absent. We've misplaced Jimmy.
You have not enough minerals.
If I am looking for human. Him named Jimmy.
I long for combat. For Hadun. Thus I serve. Kaokola. For Hadun.
Your will?
Make use of me. For vengeance.
The waiting pursues. Also, man, this geyser. It's just way out there, huh? The campaign maps try to avoid giving you crisp, clean, balanced for multiplayer production curve starting locations and other resource patches. Sometimes it does an okay job of just looking naturalistic, others less so. Others it's just, wow, that's really inconvenient.
Not enough minerals.
Just, why did you put this all the way over there?
You have not enough minerals.
Come on, buddy. Just need you to put a gun down. And you can get to work.
Your will?
So we're going to be discovering how much meat is in the way and then navigating a path through it.
You have not enough minerals.
And spending a while fortifying gives me time to accumulate gas.
You have not enough minerals.
Just enjoy work noises. Any productive beat.
House.
Your will?
Yeah, so for any extended lore discussion, yeah, it's not thought out well is the core statement to make. That's like the core design principle. Don't think about it too much.
How may I help?
This is still living mostly in the era of what if games could tell stories not being a thing that every auteur developer tries to dive in and do. Or every studio tries to engage in some grim, mechanized imitation of. Now, at the same time, it did do a bunch that was novel and new and interesting. It advanced the medium just by virtue of showing off all this new scripting they had it built into the engine. All these little scenes that we can choreograph and have play out. Just remains that ultimately this was in service of a very, shall we say, album cover approach to life. Probably another resource spot around here somewhere. Lightly guarded, yeah, there's a geyser. There's another geyser that's just kind of orphaned and in the middle of nowhere. Or no, yeah, there we go. There's real minerals. Get in there.
Instructions. Confirmed.
That also gives us more ground to work with. That real estate.
You've not enough minerals.
We need sprawl on which to build these pylons.
You've not enough minerals.
Yeah, any further developing is going to happen down here. That's where it makes sense.
You've not enough minerals.
Well, yeah, we'll get
Yes,
that later.
Executor?
So we'll need a shuttle for delivering our VIPs. And then swarm of light air power? The usual.
Upgrade complete. You have not enough minerals. You have not enough minerals.
Right, that's probably enough workers.
You have not enough minerals. Receiving.
Yes, Executor?
You have not enough minerals.
Yeah, as long as they never pierce the shields, there's no real damage being done. Okay, it's at very low levels, the music's like kind of imperceptibly quiet.
Standing by.
Yeah, of all the things that it's weird to look back at and see in early RTS UI, there was some point where it was recognized that maybe players want to know how long things take, and it hadn't happened yet.
Upgrade complete.
In the workflow of real-time strategy.
We are under attack.
Is time real?
Teleport successful. Joran, Kios. Teleport successful.
Alright, so once I have enough of those in the air, we'll go exploring. And I guess we may as well unlock the rest of our tech as well, just in case.
Upgrade complete.
I might need to go into Archons just as a resource sink for all that extra gas.
Teleport successful. Teleport successful. Standing by. It will be done. Kios.
Let's start looking around. Use our scouts to scout.
Kios. Lucas acknowledged. Kios. Kokora. Lucas acknowledged.
As expected.
Teleport successful. Under attack. Do not. Teleport successful. Kokora. Standing by. Command. Standing by. Kios. Lucas acknowledged. Kokora.
So we're probably heading south first. Since that seemed to just be unit-based defense.
Lucas acknowledged. Kios. Teleport successful. Standing by. Jogad. Jogad. Kios. Kokora. Teleport successful. Lucas acknowledged. It will be done. Lucas acknowledged. It will be done. Contact. Awaiting command. Lucas acknowledged. Kios. Teleport successful. Kokora. Kios. Kokora. Kios. Kokora. Lucas acknowledged. It will be done. Kios. You've not enough minerals.
That just depends on how much meat there is in this corridor.
Standing by. Lucas acknowledged. Standing by. Teleport successful. Standing by. It will be done. Jogad. It will be done. Kios. Jogad. Kios. Standing by. Jogad. Contact.
Though we are in a perilous situation since I've gone and depleted half my home resources.
Lucas acknowledged.
It's now mostly tied up in these air units.
It will be done. Kios. Teleport successful. Lucas acknowledged. Kios. Kokora. Lucas acknowledged. Kokora. Lucas acknowledged. Kios. Lucas acknowledged. It will be done. Kios. Lucas acknowledged. It will be done. Kokora. Contact. Locus acknowledged. Chaos.
Yeah, with this many of them, we can punch down an individual spore colony, open up a hole, and
Contact.
then maybe we land. We'll see.
Teleport successful. Awaiting command. Chaos. We are under attack. Chaos.
Kind of weird to see so many blank islands.
Awaiting command. Locus acknowledged. It will be done.
Like, I wonder if they expected that the player might, like, try to island hop?
Contact.
Fortify these places one at a time?
Chaos. Awaiting command. Locus acknowledged. It will be done. Chaos. Locus acknowledged.
But yeah, without resources to capture, there's not really much benefit to doing that. It's strange.
Standing by. Standing by. Shogun. It will be done. Standing by. Your warriors have engaged the enemy. We are under
Oh,
attack.
Orange Brood lives in this corner.
Locus acknowledged. Awaiting command. Standing by. Shogun. Chaos. Standing by. Shogun. Locus acknowledged. Shogun. Contact. It will be done. Chaos. It will be done. Chaos. It will be done. Your warriors have engaged the enemy. Command. Awaiting command. Standing by.
Micromanagement.
It will be done. Chaos. Locus acknowledged.
Also, hold on, what went wrong with those scourges?
Awaiting command.
That many small lads slamming into my birds should have caused much more damage. That's the whole point of them.
Contact. Locus acknowledged.
I guess maybe they focused down one bird and wasted their attacks.
Shogun.
As can happen.
Locus acknowledged. Chaos.
Alright, so this is where we'd want to land a ground strike team. There's mostly anti-air defenses here.
Chaos.
That's gonna open up our path.
Standing by.
And in service of that, might want even a single additional shuttle. Since, them big.
Teleport successful. Standing by. Kokora. It will be done. She house. Teleport successful. Awaiting command. Standing by.
2 Reavers can happen. That's real enough.
We are under attack. Standing by. Kokora. Instructions for vengeance. Commencing for vengeance. Initiating time. Commandants. Teleport successful. Standing by. It will be done. Shogun. Kios. Kokora. Engage the enemy. Shogun. Kios. Locus acknowledged. Awaiting command. It will be done. Kios.
Or what if? Overwhelming aerial firepower. Almost had to consider a change of tactic there. Fortunately, everything worked out.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Yes, Executor? Of course.
Protoss Commander, this is General Edmund Duke of the Terran Dominion Armada. You are in violation of our airspace and have endangered human lives in your reckless attack against the Zerg. I order you to withdraw your ships immediately. If you fail to comply, I will not hesitate to open fire upon your vessels.
General Duke, I am Tassadar, and you are well known to me. Whatever leniency I extended to you and your comrades before may have been in error. If you persist in halting our course, we will burn your pathetic fleet down to the last man.
I'm gonna have to
Agreed.
assume that was a hostile response.
This Jimmy is much less agreed.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy's acknowledged.
Yes, Executor?
Is acknowledged. Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Your will? Of course. For Adun, Tarakala!
Hey, Sergeant! Sarge! Hey!
You will immediately tell me why you have called me from my desk, Private.
Protoss unit, Sarge! Coming through the South Pass! It looks broke!
Kill it! Fire!
Oh yeah, yeah! Feel that hot love right up your tailpipe!
There you go. Terrans.flv. That's what they're here for in these stories. They're just hanging about in space and then, hey Sarge, there's a weird crab robot!
The Zeratul and his brethren are close by, but I have been unable to make contact with them.
Also, it was always weird to see the cutscenes
Danger.
feature things that are like in no way present in the game.
Dark Templar.
Like that weird janky tractor cannon. What a fine piece of technology. Also, that's our entire briefing. Just,
I sense that Zeratul and his brethren are close by.
that's it.
I've been unable to make contact with them. I fear they may be grave danger. We must scour this area immediately and find the Dark Templar, lest they be overcome by the Zerg.
Gotta find our buddy.
How may I help? Of course. Tarakala! It shall be done. Of course, it shall be done.
Though I suppose the way this works out is that he was not yet our buddy. That what appeared to be teamwork during the Meat campaign was coincidental violence.
It shall be done. Your will? How may I
Tassadar taunted the egg, just kind of for his own amusement.
It shall be done. For Adun.
And yeah, these are 333 units. We're fully upgraded for this. And they definitely have the speed boost. That's power legs.
Tarakala. It shall be done. Of course. Tarakala. Of course. For Adun. It shall be done.
Should probably, yeah, you guys on one group, you on the other group so that I can actually get at the storm.
I hear you. Of course. Yes, Executor?
Also, and in a little bit of, the scale in these games always being, you know, complete Calvin Ball. Absolute nonsense. This entire mission is like taking place inside an infested command center, essentially. There is a meat building, and we've entered it. Well, there's a human bunker
Of course.
infested with meat that we have entered.
Tarakala. For Adun. I long for combat. I hear you. It shall be done. For Adun. Yes, Executor? Tarakala.
Like, all the structures in the boats and what have you are supposed to be quite large. You know, like building and boat-sized.
I hear you.
But then, for gameplay purposes, our tiny humans. Humans.
Tag along. Jacked up and good to go.
5 jimmies.
Rock and roll.
How may I help? Of course.
What battle calls? For Adun. Honor guide me.
Yes, Executor?
For Adun.
Of course.
Honor guide me.
Okay, it is very fortunate that
Yes, Executor?
that meat human, you know, took a bullet frames before detonating.
Will. It shall be done.
Otherwise, I'd be at no jimmies instead of 4 jimmies.
For Adun.
Also, this map, for which exists, they made background art of a bunch of dead Marines. And like that's a tile in the map editor that you can get and use and just put wherever.
Will. Of course.
Did you hear that?
We now have no jimmies.
Honor guide me.
Will.
They were Jimmy.
Of course.
Calls. For Adun. Honor guide me.
I hear you. How may I
Battle
help?
calls. Thus I serve. Gaokola. Thus I serve. Gaokola. Thus I
It's
serve.
okay, we found more.
We gotta move. Jacked up and good to go.
I was maybe intended to move these jimmies away from the meat before they got destroyed. Maybe. It's fine. We have the one.
Will.
Battle calls. Thus I
Yes,
serve.
Executor? For Adun.
This is their custom.
Calls.
I hear you. It shall be done. Tarakala. Of course.
Give me some of this shit.
Thus I
So may I
serve.
help? It shall be done. Your will? For Adun, it shall be done. Tarakala, it shall be done. Yes, Executor?
Meat. Suicide meat that can one-shot your hero unit from full health when he's fully upgraded.
How may I help?
What design? Yeah, I'm just gonna go refill a beverage here to, you know, remain resolute against swamp weather, and then, yeah, we're gonna proceed to disrespect this. Respect must be earned. All those jimmies won't have died for nothing. Yeah, good thing we got that prophecy, that vision, warning of many perils.
It shall be done. For Adun, Tarakala. Of course. For Adun, Tarakala.
I'm pretty sure this is fine.
It shall be done. For Adun.
That's normal. Like, shield damage still happens
Of course. For Adun.
in power mode.
Mind if we tag along?
Your will? It shall be done. For Adun.
Shield damage is weird.
Of course. It shall be done. For Adun. Tarakala. For Adun. Of course. For Adun. It shall be done. For Adun. Tarakala.
Yeah, that or yeah, the Terran going off and doing nothing confirmed that. Does Taz have a bit of splash damage? Is that happening? Are we getting
Tarakala.
some ship-friendly fire?
Of course. It shall be done. Tarakala.
How did you get scratched?
For Adun. It shall be done. Of course. For Adun. It shall be done. For Adun.
She house.
Teleportation field activated.
Alright, there we go.
Yes, Executor?
That's what was missing.
It shall be done.
I'd gone forward instead of sideways.
For Adun. Of course. It shall be done. Of course. For Adun.
The occasional reinforcement might make this more reasonable. Setting aside that, you know, we have burrowed units that can insta-give your hero and end the mission at any time.
Commencing.
Give me something to shoot.
That aside,
Outstanding. Let's move. Outstanding. Let's move. Rock and roll. Go, go, go. Outstanding.
send this Jimmy off on a grand adventure. Yeah, he's fine. He's tough.
Rock and roll.
He's surrounded by meat. He'll be okay.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy. Shoot.
Commander.
Yeah, confirmation there. Terran units are the only ones that show what their rank is.
Yes, Executor?
All units have a concept of rank attached to them.
Outstanding.
Wait, did they script some of this meat to idle, or did they spawn fresh meat? Or did some of them get bored because they couldn't reach this Jimmy?
Let's move.
Strange.
Of course.
Yeah, rank is attached to the unit type. It's just that only humans have any text that tells you what their rank is.
Shall be done. For Adun.
There might be more prizes over there as well, then.
It shall be done. Of course. For Adun. Tarakala. It shall be done. For Adun. Tarakala. It shall be done. For Adun.
We gotta move.
Yeah, and like encounters like that. Okay, I could use a well-placed storm to tip the odds and save all these jimmies playing normally. If I were keeping Tassadar anywhere near the front, where he can stomp on a meat mine and get destroyed.
Yes, Executor?
The facility missions were always neat. They were not well balanced. Especially since they tended towards escort a hero, and hero units weren't great yet.
Instructions.
Give me something to shoot.
Your will?
They slowly got better at it.
I am needed.
Slowly.
Give me something to shoot.
The warriors have engaged the enemy.
For Adun. Tarakala.
Make use of me.
Commander. Let's move. Outstanding.
How may I help? For Adun. Of course.
Commander. Outstanding. Standing by. Commander.
I hear you. For Adun.
Receiving.
Commander. Go, go, go. Let's move.
Access. Confirmed.
Standing by.
How may I help?
Input command. For vengeance. Confirmed. For vengeance.
Stairs obstructed by giant crab robot.
Sakalanos.
Jacked up and good to go.
Your will? Tarakala.
Yeah,
I am needed.
you're locked. We need to go elsewhere. Well, we probably need to go through there.
Will? For Adun.
So let's just jimmy over this way.
Rock and roll. Let's move. Go, go, go. Outstanding. Rock and roll. Go, go, go. Let's move. Rock and roll. What was that? Go, go, go. Rock and roll. Go, go, go.
That was 8 of these stacked on top of each other in a single space.
Outstanding. Rock and
One square, 8 meat.
Go, go, go. Let's move. Outstanding. Go, go, go. Rock and roll. Outstanding. Rock and roll. Let's move. Outstanding. Go, go, go. Let's move. Outstanding. Let's move. Outstanding. Let's move. Outstanding. Rock and roll. Go, go, go. Rock and roll.
Other way around.
Rock and roll. Outstanding. Rock and roll. Give me somebody to shoot. Commander, rock and roll. Go, go, go. Let's move. Rock and roll. Outstanding.
Your
Go, go,
warriors
go.
have engaged the enemy.
Did it good, Jimmy.
Outstanding. Standing by.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
He's gonna be alright.
Jimmy Dustin, good to go. Go, go, go. Give me something to shoot.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Commander, standing by. Go, go, go.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy. Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
For Adun. Of course.
Yes, naturally.
Yes, Executor?
Fire it up. Slam it.
I hear you. It shall be done. For Adun.
Your warriors
And let's see what you get. You have lockdown. Good. You're here with your lockdown on this meat map.
Fire it up.
Good stuff.
You got it.
Importantly, they're stealth, so you now have an actual, genuine spotter who you could use
I'm here.
to spot problems. Except for all the ones that are burrowed, like, you know, the landmines.
engaged the enemy.
Of course. It shall be done.
Yes.
The one actual dangerous thing.
Let's burn. Fire it up. Slam it. Let's burn. Naturally. Slam it. Yes.
Your warriors have engaged.
Naturally. You got my attention. Want to turn the page? You got my attention.
Also, yes, that is absolutely part of the StarCraft 1 campaign experience. Get bored of the campaign at some point, start cheating your way through the campaign, then learn to despise spawn breeding because it's the only instant kill.
How may I help? Tell
Learn to despise every unit that's capable of friendly fire.
Shall be done. Of course.
Ah, there you are.
Greetings, Dark One. I have come to bring you home.
Greetings to you, mighty Tazadar. I knew that you would not forsake us. For in the time that you have spent with us, you have learned to value our ways and our methods. You have learned to channel our dark power, as well as that of your masters. And thus you alone have found completeness beyond the scope of the Kala. But I fear that the Conclave in its pride could never bring itself to welcome outcasts such as we.
Outcasts though you may be, it is your vision and courage that may yet save our homeworld from the swarm. I beg of you, Zeratul, return with us to Ire. Though they are petty and have in ignorance cursed your kind for generations, help me save our people.
Since our banishment long ago, we have never failed in our responsibility to Ire. Though it shall cause us great pain to see our homeland once more, we shall return with you, Tassadar. We will do what we can.
The pure form that is able to never stop talking. This campaign is, like, remarkably more verbose than both prior episodes of the base game. Like, in Meat, the Overmind started saying a lot, but that was his thing. He's the Meat Father and is quite verbose.
Greetings, Executor, and greetings to you, Tassadar. I am overjoyed to see you both return home in this dark hour. The Zerg have redoubled their efforts, and it seems...
It can't be. The Executor told me of how you fell before the Zerg. How is it that you live and breathe?
Well, after my unfortunate defeat, my ruined body was recovered by our brethren. I now reside within the cold robotic shell of a Dragoon.
Old friend, would that this never came to pass.
Well, you see, we did that thing we do with our wounded.
Shame and defeat, so long as the spirit is unconquered, and I am still able to serve Aya to a degree. But enough of this. There is much you both need to know. You have been branded as traitors by Alderus and the Conclave. Even now they seek to arrest you and execute the Dark Templar of Zeratul.
I never believed that they would go so far. In the face of total annihilation, they still cling to their failing traditions.
Yes, and that makes them all the more dangerous. They hunt you even now, Tassadar. And though I damn myself by doing so, I shall stand by you till the end.
In Taroadun, Noble Phoenix. Executor, it seems that if our world is to live, we must protect the Dark Templar from our own brethren. Although it pains me greatly, not even the Conclave shall stand in our way.
Yeah, the lighting of Phoenix's portrait is a little weird. That right eye is just... cannot decide whether it's visible or not. It just completely flickers in and out of place when he wiggles his head.
Executor, you and the traitor Tassadar are to cease your resistance and surrender yourselves to the judgment of the Conclave. We will take the outlaw Zeratul into custody and deal with him as is written by the Kala's law.
Flee back to your masters, Alderus, and huddle with them in darkness. For your actions shall send us all unto the Zerg. Your will.
And yeah, there we have a handful of these. They're event-only units in the base game. The expansion made them buildable. Permanently stealth, heavy melee unit. Very brittle compared to a regular fightman, but invisible. Permanently. They're quite capable. Two probes. A lot of minerals, but two probes. Dose beep. I can at least work with these.
Executor, I hunger for battle. Executor, your command. Executor.
Well, hold on, let me set up rudimentary defenses over here. And let's see, how far does tech go now? Observatory. Not carriers yet, that would require the beacon. I'm gonna say gesturing at both empty boxes because I don't remember which one it goes in. We have our scout friends, invisible detectors. Which, you know, in the mirror match, that's a bit of a thing. Now what do I spam to win at this? Always the question. Ah, yes, also at this point, they change out your advisor portrait. Phoenix is driving.
Executor, your command. Executor, your command. I fear no enemy, for the Kala is my strength. I fear not death, for our strength is eternal. We are under attack. What would you ask of me? What now, cause? Boss, I serve. I'm waiting. There's Julio. Yes, Zagashkoina. You taunted ill-advised, Templar. Do not provoke me to violence. You can no more evade my wrath than you could your own shadow. Yes, your orders, Templar. Kas Narada. You address me. You have persecuted us for generations. And now you beg us to aid you? We will do what we must. But we do it for Io, not you. Your orders, Templar.
The Great Wise Man, Zeratul. Legendary Mystic.
You address me.
Peerless Warrior. Yeah, I think it's gonna be another scout mob. Probably assisted by friendly scouting robot. If our opponent has been granted similar tech, that seems like it's still the correct option. Now, by Heart of the Conclave, did they mean a specific structure or just kill more and more? Because we definitely aren't killing enough. It's kind of self-evident. Right. This is the main counter-argument to doing anything with ground units against the Protoss here in the campaign. Also, the fact that observers are here would be our main argument against just using our Dark Templars. Maybe Dragoons as a cheaper alternative. You know, after I've already spent the resources to create 3 Stargates. Maybe just abandon those and create more powerful war crabs.
You address me. I long for combat.
Like what, 125 to 50, 275 to 125. The cost ratio is similar.
long for combat.
What if I just make more crab? Archons are on the table. Could go with Archons again. Although,
Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete.
yeah, those might balance out pretty well, cost-wise, and be sure I'm fully engaging my resources. Yeah, 4 gateways, which also the overlap in production structure means I switch back and forth to building whatever is in vogue. Stay good and flexible. Or wait, I'm doing scouting, I have my scout bot. The free one they gave me get itself exploded, or nope, there he is. Let's go. Arbiters. Gross.
We are under attack.
Make sure to get that range upgrade. And I'll only have one of these out there at a time. Okay, base here. Other thing to watch out for is there's usually at least one unguarded resource patch. Unguarded or lightly guarded on each campaign map.
Warriors have engaged the enemy.
Right. Masked Reapers. The argument against ground units.
Have engaged the enemy. Not enough minerals. We are under attack. Upgrade complete.
Combining arms sounds very much like witchcraft. Cannot abide this. I mean, we're already rolling deep into heresy.
Upgrade complete.
There must be a limit somewhere.
Teleport successful.
Can't do too many crimes at once. Wait, right. This doesn't deduct the cost of a building until you actually start making it. Yeah, this is not yet the point in the story where we have to throw away everything we believe in. Just a couple bits. We can keep the rest.
Your will?
Yeah, all three of my heroes just need to survive, so I'm gonna shove them in the corner.
So be it.
I mean, yeah, he numbers bigger than a regular Dragoon. And if he falls down, the game is over, so no. I have 3 kings, you all go stand in the back.
I'm waiting. Executor,
The Phoenix is too large to stand in the back.
as you will.
Alright, you stand near the back.
Immediately, as you will.
Guard the robots.
As you
Don't stand in the path of the robots, though. That actually impacts productivity.
Sanctimonious. Shogun.
Yeah, heroes in this were not yet, like, standalone carries that the rest of your army exists to support. Phoenix, we already gave you 1 glorious death in battle. You got that. And now you're back at work. We have other things to do.
You have not enough minerals. Teleport successful. Zanash Grina. Not enough minerals. You have not
There's all manner of shenanigans that might be possible, or we can stick with what works.
acknowledged. We are under attack. Locus acknowledged.
complete.
Oh, they get carriers. Wonderful.
Successful.
It's in there somewhere.
Standing by. Locus acknowledged. Successful.
Like, really, though, does this... Is that something specific, or is that just a flowery way of saying destroy everybody?
Standing by. Chaos.
Stasis field is the most annoying move in this game. Look at this nonsense. Okay, maybe the problem with these static defenses is that they're too far from the actual cliff edge, so they're not getting the benefits.
Successful.
Right, if the official requirement is bottom right nexus, then I can make a reasonably straight shot for that. And just ignore the two red bases.
Standing by. Shogun, we are under attack. It will be done.
Or wait.
The warriors have engaged the enemy.
We saw from our observer that the only static detectors that they have, or just detectors at all, is... Could you not? Could you just not? Yeah, the only detectors they have are just here at the front door. Garbage. But if I can just get a shuttle up there and then scoot them over the wall, and then even if the shuttle gets destroyed, that's fine.
We are under attack.
Yeah, then we can football this. Stasis field is absolute garbage.
We are under attack. We are under attack.
Yeah, as long as I can spot a clean path to the wall. Ideally through the wall, but... No, there's ramps.
We are under attack.
Yeah, they have units on the wall. But all you have to do is reach the wall and unload. Oh, weird. This transport just deployed nothing and walked away. Fascinating.
I'm waiting. Your warriors have engaged the enemy. So be it.
Alright, they had one more something scanning over there.
So be it. Very well. Nearby. So be it. Nearby. Your warriors have engaged the enemy. I'm waiting.
Never mind. They don't want you to try a clever trick. The intended experience is horrific slog. Disagree.
The warriors have engaged the enemy.
That's the kind of thing later Blizzard titles would be about. You know, maybe that would be fun if your regular Dark Templar were buildable, but they aren't in this one. You have 4. 5 if you count your victory point that don't you dare put it in danger or you will die.
Eldaris, this madness must stop. The sight of my brethren slaughtering one another is more than I can stand. Though I fear you would doom us all, Eldaris, I surrender myself to the Conclave. End Taro Adun, Executor. Don't give up the fight.
Tassadar of the Templar, by your actions you have severed yourself from the mercy of your brethren. You refuse to destroy the Terran worlds as was commanded. You have questioned time and time again the sacred will of the Conclave, and you have abandoned your home world in its darkest hour. Most grievous of all is that you have allied yourself with the blasphemous Dark Ones, and learned to utilize their profane powers in tandem with our own. What say you, O fallen Templar?
Or, you know, also, if the AI weren't given observers on this mission, and had to rely on static detectors, because then, oh wait, these are the heretics from elsewhere. The traditionalists don't deal with this. They have a weakness to dishonor and trickery.
But never think that I would for one moment regret my actions. For I am Templar, and above all else, I have sworn to protect our homeworld till the end.
And then, they gave them arbiters and have them use those arbiters together with Reavers? When you don't quite have a clean answer to that with the tools they gave you. Also carriers. I think they just had everything. Fight the full faction, but with your legs still broken. Well, Tassadar's in jail. Arrested for nerd crimes.
Executor. All seems lost now, but still we must fight on. We must find Tassadar and secure his release from the Judicator before they can execute him for treason. Without him, I fear there is no way to defeat the Zerg and their overmind. Zeratul and his Dark Templar have vanished, leaving us to fend for ourselves. I wonder if Tassadar was mistaken to have put his trust in
I wonder.
We are receiving a transmission from Captain Rayner's command ship.
This is Rayner. I'd like to help if I can. Tassadar laid it on the line for me and my crew on Char. I'd like to repay the debt. Besides, I'm a long way from home, surrounded by hostile aliens. I've got to do something.
Then you shall, bold human. You shall.
Also, this mission of, alright, let's go do a heist. Let's go break somebody out of prison. It's time for sneaking. Take away the stealth unit we just gave you. It's nowhere to be seen. Whoops. Except, oh wait, no. This is an ordinary. Alright. Now we get carrier. Also Jimmy. Full-size Jimmy. Ascended Jimmy. And start with 4 probes and 50 minerals.
Executor, I am needed.
Protoss heavy air unit, its gimmick is that it doesn't attack directly. It builds small birds and then those attack things. Yeah, we've gained access to capital ships for this jailbreak mission.
Anytime you're ready. Oh yeah.
Until you get it revved up to speed, it's a bit weak. We'll get there.
Rainer here. This should be good. Your command. Anytime you're ready. This should be good.
Now, Boat Jimmy, and I suppose also Eddie when he is in boat mode. They're like the one hero unit that's kind of worth throwing around because they have the beam. Beam is capable.
Rainer here.
What an awkward start.
Your command.
Such a weird shape for a starting location.
What battle calls?
And then this extensive backlot for you to fill with pylons.
Your command.
This is Jimmy.
You have not enough minerals. Your command. Your command. Our enemies are legion. And still you procrastinate. Command, or you will be relieved. This is not an idle threat. You look at us.
Even their joke lines are really antagonistic a lot of the time. Their extra clicks are just... they get fussy.
You have not enough minerals. Your command.
Well, the game plan of now and forever is get a bunch of these. Spend a moment just kind of confused still that this is prison break mission where you build a base and have a throwdown.
Rainer here. Anytime you're ready. Rainer here.
There's plenty about this campaign that was not planned all the way through.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy. Affirmative. Instructions.
Oh yeah.
Alright, Jimmy's gonna suffer a bit from the fact that we don't have any SCVs. So we can't fix up a damaged Jimmy. Also, what? What?
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Rainer here.
That was abrupt? Oh, you're pre-upgraded. You just get to have all your interceptors. And we don't even start with a gateway for the initial bootstrapping up to getting all the way over here. Gate, core, Stargate, Fleet Beacon.
Go ahead, Commander. Right on.
I hunger for battle, Lodos. What would you ask of me? You require more Vespene gas.
Probes have no idea how to fix a Jimmy.
Rainer here.
They are not programmed for this strange, stapled together blob of metal.
This is Jimmy.
What do you mean the entire hull isn't a single, perfect, continuous crystalline structure?
Right on.
How is it even a boat without that?
Right on. This should be good.
We also can't upgrade Jimmy at all. Oh, there's a Reaper over there. Good stage. So let's not. I could also turn on infinite supply, but I'd like to visualize how many pylon.
Go ahead, Commander.
In a less than well-indicate the pylon count, how much build time it's going to take. We're bottlenecked by this. There's no way to use even an outlandish cheating excess of resources to get around that aspect. So you would be sitting here going about building and defending your base for at least long enough to go through those build times. This is exploration now. I suppose I'll establish some resourcing, just because I'll eventually spend that.
The enemy. Instructions. Go.
See, for the faction that's about high quality, high power, but expensive units, their heavy air unit is not as good a siege platform as everyone else's.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
At least not at half capacity. Like, Jimbo has the beam, which means you can have a group of them do a big ol' alpha strike and punch a hole in any static defense. Or punch a hole in any moving defense. Or just punch holes. Wherever, whenever. What Jimmy do?
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
And Crab. Crab is like practically self-sufficient.
Upgrade complete. Warriors have engaged the enemy.
Crab just like very firmly demands the presence of enemy air power to counter it, or no. It's Crab time.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy. Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
And then also because Crab is something that you mutate out of another unit. You have a swarm of Mutalisks that exists at some point, and then when the skies are safe, you shift them into Crab mode.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
They're just kind of a self-contained, all-in-one aerial warfare system.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy. You have not enough minerals. You have not enough minerals. Upgrade complete.
And remember, your hero unit must survive. Your hero unit gets two-shot by enemy artillery.
Carrier has arrived. Instructions. Commencing. You have not enough minerals. Your warriors have engaged the enemy. Affirmative.
Yeah, on the rare occasions that I ever played an ordinary just fight 'em up round of this game, I would not use Protoss. They were not my thing. Mostly human, occasional meat.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
That was the game plan.
Not enough minerals. Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
the character kind of feels like, you know, someone did a good job of putting together the code for the spectacle of all these tiny bees popping out of the ship and swarming everything. That's neat.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy. You have not enough minerals. You have not enough minerals.
Nah, this'll do.
Upgrade complete. Your warriors have engaged the enemy. Commencing.
Alright, so there's like one small enemy base here with resources we could seize. The Chiefs are staying on, and we're just gonna kind of dissect the situation that's been put in front of us. Just have a think.
Affirmative. You have not enough minerals. Commencing. Commencing.
Then we got a bunch of defenses over here, and okay, there's the rest of a base. There's two decent-sized mineral patches going on, except they're reasonably fortified, and also, you know, full of dudes.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy. Commencing.
So unless intended behavior is to, you know, take Jimmy and have Jimmy gently chisel a path through, well, I suppose that would work well enough here. Jimmy past two photon cannons and then slip in and cause all sorts of havoc to their workers. Here's the one unguarded resource patch, all the way over here past the first wall of enemies.
Commencing. Affirmative. Affirmative. Commencing. Affirmative. Affirmative.
These are really interesting and almost surreal to look at. Out of what got me interested in grabbing the original game and then putting it on display again. So I was watching Catsworth play through the StarCraft 2 campaigns. As you should do. You should watch Catsworth. Catsworth exists. It's confusing and surreal to think about, but Catsworth. Available on various tubes. Yeah, so like I might play through those campaigns and give them a good talking about at some point. But like day and night between this primitive ancestor of theirs and the later product is that the sequel campaigns are very much deliberately paced and structured. Each map in them is about a series of events happening, and they like telegraph that these are happening. They're built around like waves of specific challenges that get thrown at you, and then you're supposed to disassemble them. And the moment you notice that that's the pattern, it then becomes like really, really noticeable. It's the FedEx arrow. You don't unsee how every map is a series of waves like this. But that's not a bad thing. It does lend more structure to the experience. It does mean that there is an experience that you're carving your way through that's maybe a little bit designed and balanced. Versus these more raw campaign maps of the classic. It's like, okay, what curve were they expecting me to do? I suppose there's a whole lot of mineral in this starter area. So maybe the intent would be to just really heavily turtle up inside of here until you have a fleet to ride out with. Even though that really goes against the story hook that we have for going into this map of we gotta hurry up and do a heist. We gotta get our buddy out of prison. Alright, so like land route to here is via that mineral patch. So you would notice this and get to grab it. And then there's a bunch of water, so only air attack would be coming in over this once you've cleared out these initial bases. And, okay, not yet. Not yet. Let them... Or not. Robots. Probes. Fighters, please. And it's lightly defended from all sides, and then just a big old mashup of units within it. Although then approaching it from land also means circling all the way around this plateau it's built on. So again, maybe the intent is to take Jimmy and jimmy your way through some key static defenses in order to open a gap and then swoop in and do things. Which can itself sound okay as a way to like build a map gimmick, but the problem that emerges there is Jimmy, he gets to do this once, and you know, that hits pretty hard. But now, okay, it's done that, and now Jimmy has to go take a nap. Wait a minute, you'll get to fire a second shot, and then, well, how was your Tuesday? If this were a full-on terroring mission, and you could have a team of boats, that would work out. Many boats working together, they can pace themselves out, collaborate on that. And it's also your one precious, irreparable Jimmy. You have no Jimmy maintenance tools.
Is absolute. Make peace with our doom.
Stay thy hand, adjudicator. The stewards of Tassadar shall not fall while the Dark Templar live. Call off your guards and stand aside, and you may yet live to see another moonrise.
I will not be addressed so by one so devoid of the Kala's light. You and your vile brethren shall die with these traitors.
Are you truly so blinded by your vaunted religion that you cannot see the fall ahead of you? Your conclave believes that they are winning this war, but all they have succeeded in doing is helping the Overmind to win.
What could you possibly know about our design?
StarCraft outtext there. Except then apply that to everyone indiscriminately. Nobody wins. Except Meat. Meat wins. Except for when Meat doesn't win. When meat defeats meat.
Unto my experience, Alderus, all that you have built here on Ior is but a fleeting dream. A dream from which your precious conclave shall awaken, finding themselves drowned in a greater nightmare.
We shall see.
In Taro Adun, Executor. My gratitude to you for having secured my release knows no bounds. By all the gods, we may win yet. The time has come to let loose the fury of the Dark Templar. Zeratul, perhaps the time has come to tell our friends of the foe we face.
Indeed. When I slew the Cerebrit Onchar, I touched briefly with the essence of the Overmind. In that instant, my mind was filled with its thoughts. And I tell you now, our worst fears have come true. The Zerg were indeed created by the ancient Zelnaga, the same beings that empowered us in our infancy. But the Overmind grew beyond their constraints, and has at last come to finish the experiments they began so long ago.
So you see, my friends, we fight not only to save Ire, but all creation. If we fall to the Zerg, then the Overmind will run rampant throughout the stars, consuming all sentience, all life. It is up to us to put an end to this madness, once and for all.
Our forces shall engage the primary Zerg hive clusters in an attempt to weaken their defenses. Once their numbers have thinned out, Zeratul and his companions can infiltrate the clusters and assassinate the Cerebrits. Adun willing, the Cerebrits' deaths will distract the Overmind long enough for us to assault it directly.
So yeah, that's, where? Mine 9? Yeah, mine 9. There's this, and then the final meat battle.
In Taro Adun, Executive.
Juras. Galadul.
Gonna start you off baseless, but you are building a base. You're gonna find a base somewhere. Also, here's your introduction to an Arbiter, but we haven't turned the Arbiter on. How about have none of your new moves to play with?
We are vigilant.
Good times.
Orders, Templar. I do this for Ire. And Taro Adun. It will be done. And Taro Adun. It will be done. So be it.
Meet here.
And Taro Adun. It will be done. And Taro Adun. I do this for Ire.
This is starting to look like the wrong way.
It will be done.
Bit much meat.
And Taro Adun. So be it. And Taro Adun. I do this for Ire. So be it. And Taro Adun. It will be done. I do this for Ire. So be it. I do this for Ire. It will be done. And Taro Adun.
Alright, resource cluster over here.
I do this for Ire.
Resource geyser. Is there a rest of a base location?
I do this for Ire.
What do you got? It's just gas.
It will be done. And Taro Adun. It will be done.
There we go. There's minerals all the way over here. Right down the road.
And Taro Adun.
Right down the road. Under this cliff.
For Ire.
Wonder how many bad dudes are waiting right over the top of that cliff.
We feel your presence.
What would you ask of me immediately?
Nothing immediate. And more resources over the hill. Campaign really loves these decompressed base locations.
Your orders, Templar.
I'm starting to go through the motions, but this far in, I've tasted blood already. And it's an assassination mission. Could just whelm up.
Entaro Adun. I do this for ire. Entaro Adun. I do this for ire. Your orders, Templar.
100 damage warp blades.
It will be done. Entaro Adun.
What would you ask of me? For ire?
Zeratul is one of the other Euro units that comes close to being usable on his own. He big.
Your orders, Templar. I do this for ire. So be it. It will be done. So be it. Entaro Adun. It will be done. Entaro Adun. You address me. I do this for ire. Entaro Adun. I do this for ire. So be it.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
It will be done. So be it. I do this for ire. So be it. I do this for...
Alright, that's a thing. The Queens can, like, indirectly act as a detector. If gunk lands on a stealth unit, it becomes visible while it is gunked. Or something like that.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
I long for combat.
Let us appraise the mead. We got Red Brood that is here, being the first line of defense. They have some resources to steal. This is just a geyser on its own. Oh, to go with the just minerals that are over here. Well, that makes sense. That adds up. And then it's these two. In the back.
I do this for ire.
I am needed.
Let's just go in there. Let's just be done. We're fighting a big old meat battle. with full tech, that might work out. Maybe. I don't think a good precedent has been set by the other maps, though, so... Okay, there we go. Scripting misbehaved.
I've engaged the enemy. So be it. It will be done.
Like, these don't have a special damage type of their own. They're normal weapons. So, like, their ability to implement, you need to use Dark Templar to kill the Cerebrate. Probably just amounts to there's a square here, and it checks if a Templar is standing here, and a Cerebrate is not.
Your orders, Templar.
So if you were just standing slightly out of the victory zone, it would have thought, ah, you did it wrong. Here's more meat. Grendel, Balrog, and Tiamat.
Executor, our plan worked perfectly. The Zerg defenses are broken, and the way to the Overmind is laid bare. The time for our stand has come.
Indeed. My friends, this is our final hour. Not all of us may survive the coming conflict. Yet, death may be a blessing should we fail here. We seek now to destroy a foe that has ravaged its way across the universe, consuming all in its path. And now, it has reached the end of its long journey. The Overmind has come to destroy all that we hold dear, and assimilate us into itself. And I say to thee, this shall not come to pass. Ire shall not fall. Executor, I stand ready.
As do I.
Well, I guess all I
As
have
do
left
Jimmy.
is to see this through. The Zerg have taken everything from me. My home, my family, my friends. I know that nothing I do can bring those things back. But I'll be damned if I just sit on my hands and wait for the end. I want a piece of them, all right. I'm in.
Then let our actions speak for us. For Adun. For Ire.
Jimmy, who has accepted loss. Jimmy, who is definitely attempting to move forward with his life, mourning the destruction of his companions, but finding new purpose in doing other things. Jimmy, who Jimmy is. Also, yes, not all of us may survive, all must survive.
Executor, Tassadar, this comes too late to you, but the Conclave has witnessed your defeat of the Cerebrate. They know now that they cannot deny the necessity or the valiancy of your actions. We sought to punish you, while it was we who were in error. You represent what is greatest in us all, and all our hopes go with you. Entaro Adun, brave sons of Ire.
Wow. Does that mean they're gonna send some backup for us?
Reporting for duty.
So, the finale of the base game. A two-faction map. Here you are, with your handful of Dark Templar and the Gantrathor.
It shall be done.
What if a Templar on a boat?
Of course.
And also Jimmy's here. Jimmy brought many Jimmys.
Commander.
A whole raid of Jimmys. It's like a co-op map, but you don't have a friend on hand.
Commander, go, go, go.
Just a lone op.
This is Jimmy. Oh yeah. Sounds fun. Right on.
And yeah, I would like to give this map a proper attempt in showing as the capstone of the base campaign.
This should be good. Oh yeah. Sounds fun. Right on.
Not right now, though.
Sounds fun. This should be good. Jacked up and good to go. Orders, Captain. Orders received. Orders, Captain. I read you. Orders, Captain. Reporting for duty. Come again, Captain. I'm not reading you clearly. You ain't from around here, are you? I can't believe they put me in one of these things. And now I gotta put up with this, too? I told them I was claustrophobic. I gotta get out of here. I'm socked in here tighter than a frog button and watermelon beef fight. Yes, sir? Right away, sir.
We'll make good use of Jimmy. Next time.
Give me something to shoot.
The Protoss finale, that is also the Terran finale. Battle against Meat